Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Revival of America podcast. This is Jenny. I am the owner and the host of the Revival of America. Today we have John Baxter in the house with anti-aging MedMed. So please, everybody, if you have a question for John, I did put his picture up on the wall. You can put your question underneath the comment area if you can't speak to him. Otherwise, if you want to ask John your question, please feel free to raise your hand. At some point, I will unmute your mic in this podcast. Also, to everybody, just wanted to let everybody know, please be careful who you follow, what you put in your mind, and what you're listening to. A lot of crazy stuff going on out there, and we just have to let this play out, everybody. I'm going to use the example as Pam Bondi and Cash Patel. People are going after them and upset because they didn't release the files like everybody's was anticipating, right? They set their expectations here and they were let down because it didn't happen. We have to let it play out, everybody. I mean, they've been in office however short period of time, and they've done not just Cash and them, but just the president in general. They've done amazing things. So let it play out, everybody. Also, too, be careful of the New World Order BS. A lot of the black pilling, doom and gloom, it is there. It is real in the sense of how people are trying to really push that hard. Stay out of that, everybody. Stay positive. We are winning. Even if it's little wins, big wins, medium wins, we are winning. Take those positive wins and go with it, because we have to continue to see this happen. And it's like Roseanne Barr said, if they were to let all of that Epstein files out like everybody wanted to, that's going to implicate the majority of Wall Street. And Roseanne Barr has said that. So, and that would be just chaotic. So, the domino is real. It's falling. And how hard and quick do you want it to fall? You got to play it. You got to be strategic about it, everybody, so we can, so they can try to save as many lives as possible. So please be careful, again, who you follow, everybody. Also, too, if you come in the podcast late, please follow the social medias or the podcast hosts, and they are iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Riverside, Amazon Music. We are being listened to in over 100 countries, everybody, so we are making some noise. The social medias are Jenny Dreed Facebook, at Jenny_Dreed Twitter, now X, at JDreed Rumble, at JDreed True Social, at JDreed Instagram, the Revival of America right here, and YouTube also is the Revival of America. All of them are verified except for YouTube and True Social right now. And then also, too, I have my TikTok. We are putting content on it over there, and that is at the official J. Jareed. Also, to check out the website, everybody, please sign up for the newsletter. It is free. You get the latest updates on the podcast as well as the weekly show lineup with the guests and the time, and that is at the Revival of America at yahoo.com. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's my email. That is the revivalofamerica.com. We have the merch store. We have John Baxter stuff. We have the page for the children, and we are working on that website as we speak. I've got some great stuff to put up there for the children from one of my great listeners, Romaine. So watch for that. Also, too, if you have a story or a journey to tell, please feel free to reach out to me at the revivalofamerica at yahoo.com. We will get your voices, your stories out there, because remember, everybody, it's your voice, your stories that are going to help make the difference in the world that we are about to, or that we have stepped into and coming into. So with that, everybody, we'll sit back. We'll wait for John to get in here. And then I do want to let everybody know, I think if you were on the last show, you witnessed agitator come into my channel being disrespectful, and I don't deal with that. Okay, I'm very positive. I'm not the doom and gloom person, and I definitely don't allow that kind of stuff for people to bash myself, my room, my guest. They're just not going to be disrespectful. So I remove them, and if people come in here and do that, I will do that in a heartbeat, because I am not about to have people come in here and take advantage of any of you, myself, or the guests. So with that, everybody, hang in there. We'll wait for John to come on and get your questions ready, everybody. Don't be afraid. He is here every week. I know he's getting really busy, and whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, I know he gave us 30 minutes last week, but he's going to try to give us an hour this week. So please have some great questions for him. We do have some alternative options for healing. And if you know somebody, or if you are that person that is feeling hopeless and not encouraged about any other options for healing, there are options, everybody. I actually met with some individuals here in Vegas when I was just there this last weekend regarding some stem cell opportunities. So it's a fairly new process, and also too a new blood test option. It's called the True type of a blood test. It reads your DNA. It's not the typical blood test that everybody goes to for their doctors. So this is something new, and it goes a little bit deeper into what people actually have, because we know we're seeing a lot of misdiagnoses, overdiagnoses within the medical field. So this goes into it a little deeper, and it tells you exactly. I mean, it's to the T of exactly what is going on with you within your DNA. So this is super exciting, and then the stem cell options as well. Great stuff, everybody. So there are opportunities. It's like I was telling my parents, we are truly blessed to have these people being put in our forefront, and we're able to talk to these people, whether it be John on a weekly basis, or just Field on a weekly basis, all the guests, right? We are very, very fortunate because John and these individuals that I spoke to in Vegas over the weekend are much like a needle in a haystack. If we didn't know, we wouldn't know, right? So we are very, very blessed. I'm very blessed to be able to bring this information to you and have people like John on the podcast every week. So I can't tell you enough, everybody. We are very, very lucky, and I'm hoping to try to get these other people on the podcast in regards to the stem cell opportunity. So I'll keep you posted on that. And well, look who just stepped in the room. Our favorite John Baxter. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Jenny. Hey, it's good to
How
hear from you.
Well, it's good to hear from you. How have you been? It's I know you had a bit of a short podcast last week because you had something to do, but it seems like it's been a long time since we've talked.
It has. I think we went from, about 2 weeks right now. So yeah, it has been a little while for sure.
Yeah. So how have you been? How are things going in your world? We met with some of the people that you recommended us up there in Vegas, and that was a great experience. So I want to say thank you for that.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear. Dr.
See that?
John Patrick,
Yeah.
basically.
See, this is how connections work, everybody, right? So, we know John and everything, and then he talks to me about these other individuals, and we were fortunate to be able to connect with them over the weekend, and good conversation. So I just want to say thank you for that.
That's great. The end goal is to get where you need to go and have the proper people tell you different results. And it's a whole system. We're just trying to get to the bottom of things because at the end of the day, no one really wants side effects. No one really wants to overpay, and no one wants to be misdiagnosed.
Well, and that's a lot of questions that I get, and as well as, I've been told by many of my doctor friends and nurses that this is what they're seeing in the medical industry. And, you've experienced it yourself, people coming in saying they have been diagnosed with XYZ, my father being one, and then you do your scan, you don't see that. So, I mean, that's kind of a concerning situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I have so many people that are going through things, and it's just sad to witness the current system of how it operates. So, the thing is, we have to band together, expect the truth, and that's really what we're after is some type of truthful medicine, something that's accountable, accurate, something that we can actually see results with. And, your information has always been yours, but a lot of times you're not allowed to even see your own information, and you won't know enough about the information you see to even make by having your own results. I would say if you were able to, I think what we found out is that you could go to a Quest, you could go to a LabCorp, and you can get your own information, and you could even have AI or someone else or someone on our team kind of help you decipher it and just look at it, and that could be a helpful situation.
So, John, so with a lot of people, my audience that I get that reach out to me, they kind of feel like they're, maybe in a dire straits, kind of a quick, not, it's not even a quick thing. So, because remember, everybody, people don't get sick overnight. So, it's a process, right? So like John's facility and what he provides for people is it's maintenance, right? It's maintenance work. We gotta work to get all that shit out of us, right? So with the people that reach out to say myself or you, and they're kind of in that dire need, what would be your suggestion when it comes to you? Because I know some people, they may be too far out that maybe you may not be able to help their situation. I don't know. Can you maybe talk to the audience about that?
Yeah, we're not everything, right? We talk about diet. We have somewhat of a longevity diet that we recommend while you're doing our system or you're just trying to get healthy. So, there's many different levels to this, and um, that is an important one. You can start wherever you're at and just try to improve your lifestyle. Try to improve your lifestyle modification choices, right? We talked about this many times. And um, as we go through, we just have a way to accurately measure everything, and that allows us to do it. But what you'll realize with us as well, we are not emergency medicine. If you get a broken leg or a hip that fracture, we're not we'll be able to give you relief, maybe give you faster recovery. But as far as like a broken femur, don't come see us, right? So, but most everything, literally most everything else goes back to diet, detoxification, removing toxins out of the body, and slowly pulling the stuff that's weighing us down. And what I usually see is, people with multi-level different type of bacterias, mold, fungus, parasites. These are actually likely the root cause issue of all your health issues. So once you address that and you attack those problems, what you'll see is that the body knows how to heal itself. And that's the only thing that heals yourself anyways, is your own DNA in your body. So the more you remove the impactful things, the more remove the weight. The dead weight would be multiple types of bacterias and stuff. The more you remove, the more your body knows what to do. And that's the amazing thing.
So, I was going to ask you something. So, I have a question for you because a lot of people out there, this is kind of, I don't, it's not necessarily random. There are a lot of people out there, that are told to go on chemo for, I guess a cure, treatment, whatever you want to however you want to categorize it, right? Can you talk to people a little bit about the chemo situation? Because I know obviously that was a situation with my father. They told him to do that, and we were not about the chemo. Can you kind of explain to everybody here that chemo is like it's a chemical, as we know, right? Radiation, right? So, can you kind of touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, chemotherapy, they usually only give you like one option. Like if they say that you were diagnosed, they quickly have a plan in place. And a lot of time it's a mixture of radiation and chemotherapy. Chemo means chemical therapy, and they only give you one chemical. Well, look at all the chemicals in the world, but we're only using one chemical for chemical therapy, which is chemotherapy, which is their answer to cancer. Realize it's very tough on the body, and a lot of people say they feel kind of normal, and then when they do the chemo, they feel like they're dying. Well, that's because they're putting more pressure on your body, and what would be good in your body, it's making it weak and tired, and even your hair falls out. So, this is just their own answer. Last I checked, I haven't really heard of anyone. I've heard of people getting better with the current system, but I haven't met anyone that used the current system that said they felt good the whole time and they got over it. And a lot of times it's pushed many months, 6 months, a whole year out. So you're taking the pills for that long. So really, in the end, when you're using things like frequency medicine, these these types of longevity types of situations, you can remove all those bad blockages and your body's going to know what to do. So what we offer is an alternative to, the stuff I just talked about. And chemotherapy, a lot of people have side effects. And when you're putting chemicals like the man-made chemicals that they use, just realize that there is a long-term effect. What did we say last time, or maybe on a recent podcast I had? It said that the people that did nothing, no, had got cancer and did no chemotherapy. What I forget the number. It was something ridiculous compared to the people that did chemotherapy that had cancer. The people that didn't do it lived a lot longer after they got over their cancer. So there's a study out there. I can't quote the whole study because I can't remember, but I did do a podcast on it recently. So long term, you'll realize there are alternative solutions that can get you to point A to point B, likely very little or no side effects at all, and long term, a very little or no side effects at all as well.
Well, and one of the things too is another thing, everybody, for those of you that have sleep apnea or know somebody that has it, they give you that that mask, and that hose has all that radiation in it, and that kind of drapes across your chest, across your heart. So it's like they're giving you that relief for a hot second to breathe, but yet the hose has got a huge amount of radiation going through it. So John has here's when he talks about an alternative. What is it? An oxygen generator? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the CPAP machines that are on the market today, they're very good in one sense. They were designed to help you. But the negative component of the whole system that's trained to help you is putting lots of voltage right over your heart. And it's not really the oxygen or the pump of the oxygen pushing oxygen into your body if you do have a CPAP. It's really the hose that is connected to your face. There's a little hose that goes right over your heart, and it's usually around 15 volts. So can you imagine I'm getting oxygen to try to get better, and at the hose that goes over my heart is at 15 volts. That's just gonna wreak havoc on something that's supposed to be helping you. So what we see is this diabolical style of medicine where something that is going to help you, like oxygen and pressurized oxygen, is actually fundamentally flawed because of the voltage coming off of the hose. So we have our own version of this. It's just called an oxygen generator, and it's something you put over your head, and basically you're breathing more pure oxygen, and without the hose giving you 15 volts of electricity over your heart every night for 8 hours. So
And
even in that sense, the ground, if you were to use a CPAP, you could use a grounding pad to neutralize that 15 volts, but that's a lot of voltage over your heart.
yeah, and that's something like for my dad, like he had the CPAP machine and he no longer uses it because he's got the generator that, John has. So there are other options, everybody. I know people feel, many feel hopeless and not sure where to go, but there are other opportunities of healing. So just know that. And I see Kimmy, you're in here. You guys just went to go see John. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit about your experience? I'm so happy for you guys, by the way. Go ahead, Kimmy.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to begin, but Jen, thank you so much. You are so awesome. I just got to
Mm,
say that straight out. And
mm,
hi
Thank
Lori, hi
you.
Susie Q and John. Oh my gosh, we went there. Me and Lori went there on Monday, March 10th to go see John and Dale. What a bunch of sweethearts and so helpful and so educational. We had a grand time and if you can do this, It's in Orlando, Florida. We went there for 7 hours. Bring a lunch. That's all I got to say about that. But um, they put you through their procedure to try to zone in on where your problems might be, kind of thing. It's on an individual basis, of course. But I find for me, I'm gonna go after healing my liver, and sweet Lori has just been guiding me so much. I know she's on the call right now, and she can really explain this so much better than I can. But you ground yourself all through the night, happy, happy. You might not feel anything at all, but things are working. And then you can do a frequency. That's what we bought from John. I think it's called the Regen, and that's putting frequency in your body from one point to the other to break down those bad cells that you don't want replicating into some disease. But then, like, I'm to understand also it goes after parasites, which unfortunately, guys, we're covered with this shit in our body. You just can't get away from it. Look at all the pollution, all in our air, in our food, in our clothes, in everything. It just goes on and on and on. So I just got to say, if you get a chance to do that, that's great. If you guys could get a grounding mat to help you, that would be great. Or, go walk out in the grass, or, if you're into the crystal thing or whatever. But anyway, to ground yourself, because this world's crazy right now. I mean, like, anything you can do to keep in the body would be great. So, John, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. He's such a sweetheart, you guys. I mean, go check him out in Orlando. We had a great time, and
Ah,
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
you're so welcome, Kimmy. I'm so glad you guys were able to make it down there. And I love the testimonials, everybody. So keep them coming because, again, what John provides, because like I said before, people didn't get sick, just overnight, right? So, like she said, from our food, our clothes, the air, the medicines people take, it's all perpetuated that, right? So this is going to be, it's like my parents. It's like you're on this strict hardcore diet for 90 days, whatever, and then you continue the maintenance. So I tell my parents this is like them going to their doctor's appointment, their follow-ups, whatever. And for some people, they can slowly start getting off their medications. I know my parents have. So, and then it's done a lot of great stuff for my parents. My mom's neuropathy is like almost gone, and her back issue she was having, like, and then my dad, he's got a little bit more going on, but he is doing this like a rock star. And again, it doesn't take overnight to get this way, so it's not going to take overnight to unwind it all. So you got to just continue to do it in the maintenance. But guess what? You're getting off the nasty meds. You're feeling better. You're having more energy. You're not, being perpetuated to be sick all the time from this pill to go on to get another pill, right? So again, everybody, there is options and there is hope and encouragement. And I always say it's John Baxter when it comes to your health. So Lori, go
Well,
ahead. Go ahead, John.
thank you, Kimmy and Lori. Yeah, just want to say thank you guys for stopping in. This is what we enjoy doing. This is our passion. So it's not just, work. Everyone on the team is very passionate. We have a way that we go through things, and if you were to come and you're considering it, just come to realize, focus on something that you want to work on and let us know. We can do everything. You don't have to let us know, but when we start pulling needles out of the haystack, we'll be able to tell you like what you should focus on. But it's very interesting, and it's a lot to sometimes digest, but we try to make everything in layman's terms of what you're really doing. And I've seen people get over the most craziest things, sometimes within the time they're here, sometimes within a short time after, sometimes a couple weeks. Let's say stage 4. I've seen stage 4 happen a couple times less than 30 days, no detectable. And it really is based on your level of, I would say, commitment. Will you change your diet? Will you follow through? Will you use this? Will you get your body and your health to another level quick? Because once you're in a good position, you can live your life. No one's saying live a very strict life for the rest of your life. You just need to go through this. You need to relearn what you needed to learn. And let's say that you did have cancer, and let's say you beat cancer. That's our goal, to support, help you, and get through major health issues. But honestly, this is the solution. We keep hearing major famous celebrities and politicians talking about chronic disease. Well, the beautiful thing is, and I feel like I am a modest guy, I don't really talk a lot, but I really do believe we have the best answer for chronic disease in anyone in the US. I don't care what doctor, I don't care what company. For some reason, God blessed me with this and the ability to innovate, envision, um, create, and that's why it's an amazing thing. I really wanted to make our patriot movement proud, and also, with all the heat people take from the far left, especially on the media, I always had to really dot my I's and cross my T's, because even the New York Times, they even wrote an article about me that I had a miracle cure, but they also called me a right-wing Christian conservative conspiracy theorist, which wasn't that bad because I was like, you're right. But for the mainstream people that read it, they're like, oh, this is one of those wackadoos that has a miracle cure, but we'll discredit him with these things that are, so a lot of people would, suggest that I'm different. They're doing it to Elon Musk right now because he's uncovering stuff with Doge. Whether he's good or bad, I don't know, but anyone that suggests that or finds that Bill Gates is getting $2+ billion a year of taxpayer funds to create vaccines, you just have to realize this is a stage. The world is really a stage, and it's being uncovered and picked apart every single day. And so with this level of health technology and innovation, we've really this is our gift, and it's only going to get better. We are in a really good place, but also as time goes on, we've had the ability to innovate, recreate, and continue to stay at the top. So just realize it took a lot to get here, and likely, in the future, I'm very proud of the machine we've created and the system, so that if it was end of world situation, no medical system, oh no. But for us, it was never a fear. Really, it was about your knowledge. How well are you able to decipher what foods are good, what foods are bad? How are you able to decipher different things? And so there's a lot of information, and that's why we're here. And it's a super blessing to be working with you all. And if you are interested, of course, just hit Jenny up, hit her up by email, and people will be getting back in touch with you. But I really highly recommend it. We do this for free. So, I mean, we've done it over 6,000 plus times for free. So that's why I believe we're able to create this system, because it was hands-on, me mainly as the lead innovator, inventor, and going through just people's health problems. That's why I'm almost like a Houdini Q&A that we do on this show. Like, it's not so much that I am Houdini, it's that I have found the technology that makes these tools so much easier. So the thing is once you have the tools and you have the right understanding, it's not it's a miracle, but it also is just straight up brass tacks science. And that's why, and once you understand it, it's really simple to understand. It's just that we've been indoctrinated with just so much information that for most people they would take a lifetime to decipher what they're doing. And basically, that's what we're here to do is educate you, show you the basics, and go through the longevity circuit so that, if something does happen, you have the ability to do it in the comfort of your own home or, in a wellness center. So it's a beautiful thing. So, thank you guys.
And just know, everybody, it's hope and encouragement to those that feel like they've lost it, because we know a lot of these doctors out there are doom and gloom and just, not, they're just, you know what I mean? So yeah, if you guys want to reach out to John and his staff, reach out to me at the Revival of America at yahoo.com, and I will facilitate them getting in contact with you guys. They're very quick about getting in touch with anybody that I have sent over to them. So yes, that's the Revival of America at yahoo.com. And Lori, your mic is unmuted. If you want to go ahead and let the audience know your experience when you went down there to see John, and then everybody will open it up for questions that you may have for John. So go ahead, Lori.
Yeah, Jenny, I can piggyback on that right away because I emailed Jenny and said, I'm going to be in Florida. My friend Kimmy is going with me, and we want to piggyback a visit to John if we can. And Jenny must have contacted them immediately because the next morning at 10 a.m., I got a phone call from Dale. And we were on the phone for 2 hours and scheduled it. I'm going to be there. And this all happened like within 3 weeks. And so Kimmy and I went Monday of this week, and we came in and they do an introduction, and John came in and introduced himself to Kimmy and I, and it was a wonderful greeting, and we got to chat for a little bit, and then Dale took over. And you guys, Dale was literally running, to help us. Like, okay, you're going to do this, and now we're going to do the bioscan and put you in the hyperbaric chamber or in the celestial pod, and explaining and teaching. I wish I could have recorded the whole day. It was just an incredible amount of information. Everybody, John, Melody, who let us in, John and Dale, that's who we mostly worked with. But what they did that day was so exciting and so helpful and educational. I mean, I recommend anybody that if you can go, and it's an incredible day of free assessments and free treatments so you could see what these things are like. And Kimmy and I figured out with what they came out in the bioscan for each one of us, what would help us going home so we can continue to heal. And we each ended up buying the regen and the frequency healing equipment where you put the pads on your palms of your hands. But I wanted to give John some kudos because that equipment originally was $2,000 more, the cost of it. And John has worked with his peeps and engineers and to get the cost down. And then you get a little Jenny discount on top of that. And so I'm so grateful to all of you. I mean, what you're doing is so good and exciting. And we had the most fabulous day, John. You're such a good man. You're doing God's work. And we enjoyed it thoroughly. And Kimmy and I are not shy. We are telling everybody we know. So,
Oh,
so
I
thank you,
love
thank
it.
you, thank you.
thank
And
you.
yes, and you took those little videos, John, and I don't know what's going to happen with that, but Kimmy and I are ready and waiting to help you out.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a whole lot, and I know I'll tell the staff. They're as passionate as I am. So we always have the talk. Even the Margaret Mead quote: "Just a couple people can change the world." So we have less than 20 employees here, um, and so that's a small amount of people for doing all this work. So, it takes special people and to do this, and it's basically a PhD level information that I have to train people. It's not easy to train people. It takes many months just to get them where, their level of proficiency, they can actually help like Lori and Kimmy while they come in. So, I'll give kudos to the staff as well, and that's just great news. And the other thing is, like she was saying, the discounts is that our goal, I would say over 65% of our products are made in the USA. Less than 10% is made in Asia. But the other, 15, 20%, Europe, Canada, we do have a little bit of Mexico. and it was around 50%. And each year, my goal is that, I've hired engineers to duplicate some of the world's best technology. Like some of it was Russian at one time. Some of it's now made in the USA that was a Russian tech. So our goal is to, even with as a manufacturer these products, is to take the best technology in the world, manufacture it here in the United States. That way, we're covered. We with the new Trump presidency, second time around, we don't even make wires in the US. Like they've really destroyed our own ability to self preserve our country. So what I believe I see on the market is that, the companies that build in the USA, as the years go on, will be better off. And we had the heydays in the car industries in the 70s, 80s, and then, that's around the time they started making cars in other areas. And you remember those times. I knew tens of thousands of people that retired from the car industry that worked there since they were in high school. So it's a big deal to bring manufacturing back. And the key here with this advanced technology, I'm an American. I believe it stands here. This is where all the major innovations have happened. And like the last so many years and decades that we've seen was an abuse, just major abuse to our system. So, the goal is to, put Americans first for once. Let's that is a big key, I think, in the future of all this health technology.
Thank you, John. And thank you, Lori. The excitement I hear is just it's amazing. These are the kind of stories that we like to hear. So thank you, ladies, for sharing that. All right, everybody, if you guys have questions for John, please feel free to raise your hand, and we'll get your questions answered if you have any questions. Don't be shy.
Yeah,
Let's see.
don't be shy, guys, and share and like and comment, because there's so many other people that have never heard this podcast that they need assistance and help and never knew that there was an alternative like this. They've heard of these alternatives, but they don't know where to go. So please do share, comment, like, share in other groups, post in other social media accounts. Get the word out, because, you never know. I mean, doctors are sending their own parents to me. So that tells you a lot.
That's huge. Thank you, John, for sharing that. Okay, everybody, go ahead. I don't see any questions. Let me see, John, if haven't seen any questions here on the wall. Let's see. Oh, here we go. We have one comment. Let's see what it is. Thank you, John, for all you do. After a nasty fall, the ER did an MRI on my brain because on a CT scan, they saw something. Now, after all that, I saw a neurologist who says it's a small benign tumor. He is going to do an MRI on the 3 6 12. Oh, so 3 6 12 months. Is there anything you know that can help with this benign tumor?
Yeah, what they usually suggest now, and you can do your own research on this, is most tumors are parasites. It's a sack of parasites. I know it sounds gross. I know you might want to throw up. These tumors can be in your brain, anywhere else. So, what feeds the parasites? Sugar, mainly. So that's something that, the one thing that could really just change everything is just reduce our amount of sugar. It's very difficult, and you may not even eat sugar, and you may even have the situation. Most things like pasta, rice, it all converts to sugar, glucose. So you just got to look at how many calories you're taking, because high calories is, this carbs converts to sugar, which is energy, but also, that's just you're feeding these things. You're feeding these bacteria, mold, parasite, funguses with sugar. So an easy one that you might want to consider is taking a teaspoon of baking soda and water a day. That's going to bring your body and the fluid in your body back to alkalinity. What happens when you put sugar in your body? It makes the fluid in your body acidic. What do serpents and parasites like? They like an acidic environment. Acidic environment is just, you know, on the scale of polarity in our water systems. Water can either be very alkaline or, it's a spectrum, alkaline to acidic. And the acidic side of everything, sugar, when it sits in our body, it turns our body acidic. And that's the breeding ground for all these parasites, and that's the food that they like to use to survive. So a good thing to do is to do an intermittent fasting every day and a ketogenic diet. It means staying away from a lot of the grains like gluten stuff, wheat, whole wheat, pasta. These things are gluten infested and they actually help parasites as well. The other thing with this situation, the easy one to start is reduce your inflammation with grounding. That's a simple solution that you don't really have to do much, but change the place where you sleep a little bit. And then you can get into other stuff like the sauces. On the website, you'll see a 5-pack of sauces. I recommend doing the 2-week detox with that 5-pack of sauces. You're going to take 2 dropper bottlefuls each day of each sauce, and it runs out in about 2 weeks. This is going to push back everything. It's going to be pushing back the bacteria, mold, parasites, fungus, and even a lot of the toxins. So this is an easy way to make huge improvement. With that alone, just changing your diet and doing that alone, you could get over this issue. But the thing is if you go the traditional route and you're already getting scans and they're telling you have a tumor, it's difficult for me to suggest. I'm not saying that every single person is misdiagnosing, so I don't have enough information in front of me to tell you yes or no in that sense, unless you come and get a scan. At that point, we can show you different things that you could be doing to help your body fight this off, including the frequency medicine. So the regen that she was stating earlier with Lori and Kimmy, these are specific. So if we're seeing some derogatory things in your scan or even with what's going on now with them diagnosing you, you're going to be able to do the same thing. You're going to be able to address the physiological issues and all the stuff we talked about, and that's going to put you in a place where you're going in the right direction. It won't take long if you continue and you're consistent. It's really that consistency over the next 30, 60, 90 days that you can unlock and get rid of these major physiological issues and chronic disease. So that's kind of how the system could help her.
Thank you, John. And I will say, I use the sauces. I use the grounding mat for the bed, and they're amazing, everybody. And like I said, my parents use, they've got like a little miniature wellness center within their house. And I'm curious, Kimmy and Lori, because I know when my parents went in there, obviously you guys are familiar with the scan. You got scanned. My mom, for an example, went in, they scanned her. There was 39 pages that came out of things that, were potentially wrong. And then the time that they spent there with John, they were there for a week, 3 days within the facility and 2 days to rest. By the time she left, they redid a scan and she came out with from 39 to 19 pages. So that just goes to show you in that short amount of time, how John's, what he's doing with these frequencies down there in his facility, how they are working. So it went from 39 to 19 pages with my mom. So that's huge. So I don't know, Kimmy and Lori, if you guys want to share you guys said you were down there for 7 hours. I'm assuming you guys did a scan. Did they do a scan before and after, John?
Yeah, and we did that with Lori and Kimmy, I believe, and they could speak for themselves, and it might be a good eye opener.
Go ahead, Kimmy.
Hi, I want to come back to that for just a second because you guys, Jen, you probably have to always say the right thing, I don't know what you call that. And you do probably too, John. So that's fine because I'm here for the audience. Hey, um, I am. So I'm blunt. So I'm really not. I'm in a power play here. But your MRI idea is such a bad idea. What are you putting in your body? Do you know what I'm saying? That's like radiation, right? Is radiation good for your body? Isn't that right? MRIs.
Yeah, I mean, it's impacting, that's why it's so
Mhm.
dangerous and they make such a big
Mhm.
deal about it, right? Because it's like
Mhm.
sometimes you have to put a lead vest on. Sometimes even
Mhm.
with dental work, you got to put,
Mhm.
lead to protect other parts of your body. So how could that be good? They're using the negative side of the force.
Mhm.
They're not using the good side of the force, and it's it's impairing you more by trying to get help.
Mm-hmm. So, guys, I get it. This is big changes here. I mean, what, you want to get rid of your microwave? I'm literally fighting with my kids right now about it because we're so programmed. Oh, okay. Let's rewarm our food in a microwave. What do you think that does to your food? You know what I'm saying? What, you want to talk about smart TVs and smartphones? Do you want to talk about radiation? Do you know what I mean? So I'm saying probably not a good idea to continue doing that because you're kind of like poisoning your body when in lieu of that you're actually trying to help yourself. But we've been so programmed our entire lives, literally, it's really hard for us to wake up. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I'm here to come out and say that because I don't know how comfortable Jen or John is doing that, but I don't have a problem with it. So Godspeed, really. So the other
Thank you.
thing is when we went there, we did go through that process and they did heal us a little bit when we were there in such a short period of time, guys. We were there a long time, yes, but we went through different things. I mean, it's not going to be an overnight heal session. So throughout our both of our bodies, little pieces of DNA was repaired, and the list was extremely long. And I really don't even actually know. I can't heal myself in one day. I have to go after one organ at a time, kind of thing. So I'm just focusing on a couple, like me personally, the liver and my digestive system and my heart, and whatever else I feel along the way. I'm gonna ground myself all night long, and then I'm gonna take some time when I get my frequency equipment, and then I will do that, and then I'll do everything else. We're going all natural herbs here. We're doing tinctures. I mean, you guys don't even want to get me started about vitamins, and you know what I mean? What's in vitamins and the pill form of the vitamin, and how much they compact it down with 800 pounds, and the idea of that trying to digest in your system. So anyways, I say go all organic, you know, farm your own products or get friends with a farmer, get yourself out there with your community, make friends, show the love. That's what I'm thinking about all that. But Lori is really good at talking about stuff like this. So we should probably give her a chance because she's
Yeah.
awesome. I love you, girl. Thank you,
Thank you.
John. Thank you,
Thank you
John, and
guys.
everybody else.
Thank you,
Thank
Kimmy.
you.
Thank you, Kimmy. Appreciate it. All right, Coach Deb, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hey, thank you so much. That was me with the fall and the benign tumor, so I decided to come on live. So everything that I've researched on my own before I even went to the neurologist, all of it's unknown. We don't know what causes this. Well, I know if that was funny to me. It's like, okay, parasites. Thank you, John.
No problem. It's
And then I did
yeah, it's
address
difficult.
the MRI with the PA and the nurse practitioner there. I said, I'm not pro X-ray, I'm not pro CT, MRI. So, and he said, well, one thing I want you to know is MRIs are compared to others are 100% safe. They are not radiation. They're not what you think they are. It's magnetic. And I'm thinking, well, how do they take the pictures of anyway, that thing is scary in itself, that machine. So they swore to me that it was safe. So there you have it. But I'm on one of your grounding bed covers now. I've had it for 3 or 4 months. I love it. And so I have the base number one take covered, and it's only been 2 weeks since the fall, and I went and saw him a week ago. So I'm like, I'm going to get on with John and find out what's going on here. And so would you say that I need to get on your sauces then next?
Yeah, there's been quite a few kind of videos or podcasts we did in the past, and likely we need to cover some of those topics as well. Get on the longevity diet
Okay.
basically,
hmm
and the sauces are going to be very helpful.
Okay. I'm
Um,
on keto now, and I've been on it for 2 months.
oh, okay, good, good. And have you felt an improvement?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. More
Wow.
clear-minded, more energy. And that hasn't been an issue for me. I probably need to do more intermittent fasting. I probably I eat a dinner about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I don't eat again the next day till about 9 or 10 in the morning.
Wow. And you sound pretty healthy.
Yeah, I am.
Did you just go to a regular checkup and they were like, look what we found?
No, I took a fall and hit the back of my head, split it open, went to the ER. They stapled up the back of my head, sent me to a CT scan, and they saw something. And then next morning, they called me in and said, now we see something. We need to go to MRI and make sure
Hmm.
what we're seeing here. So
How long ago did you hit your head?
2 weeks ago.
Well, I mean, maybe
I'm
you hit your
71.
okay.
I'm not on any prescriptions. What happened was I came off of a kitchen bar stool, and a tall one, and swung down, and my leg was asleep and I didn't know it. There's no tingling or anything. And
I
I
hate
came
that.
down on it and went backwards.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, but didn't pass out. I actually was conscious the whole time, held my head so we could get to the ER. It was a mess because your head bleeds a lot. But then through this process, God showed me that there's something going on with my brain.
Got you. And have you, with your diet and everything, I mean, how do you feel like you had a traumatic brain injury, like a
No,
trauma?
I've had no headaches, no symptoms, nothing. And that's what they kept asking me with this in your brain, do you have any headaches? Do you have any? I go, I have no symptoms. I'm prescription free. I'm healthy. So no, this is weird.
They're thinking, you're not healthy without prescriptions, right?
Yeah, they were. They kept saying, well, you don't look 71. I go, because I take care of myself.
You don't sound like you're 71 either.
Uh, okay.
That's a good
No, I have
thing.
a strong life force. Yeah, very strong life force.
Nice.
So anyway, I just thought, well, maybe I just need to get on your sauces. I mean, would that be, I've done sort of semi intermittent fasting. I'm on keto. I'm on your bed cover.
Yeah, the sauces would be an easy next round, and then after that, maybe a frequency medicine generator.
Okay.
But you have, or an oxygen generator too. But that would be some simple solutions that you could get over this. Whether it's just to get healthy, it's one thing, but also it just something always sounds fishy when I hear, you had an injury. What if it was just, impact from the hitting your head?
Mhm.
Like,
Well, I kept saying, he said, well, the little tumor's a little bit inflamed. I said, well, wouldn't that have come from the head injury? And he's like, well, they're not normally connected. I'm like, well, it's on the same side of the head that hit it. So I felt like these people don't have any common sense, is what I kept thinking. Jeez.
yeah, and they're only trained to be trained on what they need to know.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's like,
No intuition.
yeah, they're not really knowledgeable. I was just blessed because I started with the truth. If I
Yes.
went through medical school, I feel like in many ways that would destroy my cognitive kind of
Right. Brain rot.
understanding of everything, right? Because then
Right.
you gotta learn a system that's man-made and it's not completely accurate. So
hmm So
the
how do I
yeah,
get on your website, John? How do I do that?
yeah, I think it's in the Telegram group.
Oh,
Yes.
There should be a link.
Yeah,
Okay.
Coach Deb, there's a link on the wall. There's a video. John also gives you everybody a 8 minutes roundabout about the grounding and what he's doing over there. And then his website is right there underneath it. It should be underneath his picture. It should be close to the lower part of the wall right here.
Okay, Jenny, you're rubber banding. I'm not hearing you, so
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I just don't understand you.
So there's two there's his link on the wall, and then there's a video on the wall.
Okay. Okay.
It's at the bottom of the wall.
If I can't find it, I'll message you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just
Awesome.
send it to you
I don't want to
directly.
take up any more of John's time. John, thank you so
Oh,
much for your
yeah,
time.
thank you, Deb. We'll work closely with you. If you want to reach out, please connect to Jenny, and we can go further. But it
Yeah,
sounds like you have a lot of our
I may
stuff.
need to come to Orlando anyway, so never know.
Yeah, I mean, a second opinion couldn't hurt anything, really. You're
Okay.
talking about your life, your health. It sounds like.
Oh, did we lose you, John?
No, I think I'm here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay,
Well,
sorry.
thank you so much.
All right. Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank
Coach
you,
Deb. All right, Grace, your mic is unmuted, and then we'll round it out with Lori. Go ahead, Grace. Push the blue button, Grace.
Hey, John. Hey, John. My blue button never wants to work for me. I'm really sorry. That happened earlier with Field. Anyhow, John, thank you so much. And we've spoke before. Jenny will remember. I spoke to you about my husband. Actually, it wasn't regarding me. We actually ordered all of your bedding. So we have the grounding sheets, the grounding pad, the pillowcases, all of that. And I spoke to somebody on the phone in your office. It was a gentleman. I can't remember his name. If you said it, I would probably remember
Samuel?
it. No.
Dale,
Yes,
Dawn.
it was Dale.
Okay.
Yes, it was Dale. And I didn't get to talk to him as much as I wanted because actually I had to go. I was in a car line. It's a whole long story, but anyhow. So my question is really quick. My husband is having this tremor. I'm going to call it that. I've done a little research. It's in his left hand, and it started out as just like a little like his index finger would like move involuntarily, and then it would stop, and that was all it would do, and that would happen like once a couple times a week, and that's it. And I didn't even notice it at first, and he didn't think much about it either. Well, then that turned into like a couple of fingers like doing the same thing involuntarily, like spontaneously at any given moment. And now it's his left hand is like and it's not, I've looked into tremors. So what I've researched, and I'm no doctor, and I don't have the knowledge you have, but I'm not the dullest crayon in the box. So with that being said, I did do some research, and I did see that there are essential tremors, which basically happen only when you're like picking up a glass and you're going to take a drink of water and your hand starts to shake a little. They call that an essential tremor, which many of us can have on any given day, depending on our blood sugar levels and just, our activity level, that kind of thing. But then there's another tremors that are more prevalent, and they happen more periodically throughout the day, and it's not when you're lifting a glass to drink. And his have now advanced to it's worse. So, do you think you're like if we came to Orlando and made an appointment, of course, and came and did some of the I'm so sorry, I'm going to misspeak. Some of the machines, some of the
Yep.
opportunities you have. Do you think some of that could help that?
Yeah, my initial take,
Hmm.
one, it could be some type of neuropathy. It could be some pinched nerve down the line,
Hmm.
from the neck to the fingers, right? Some pinched nerve could be in the elbow, could be in the wrist, could be in the shoulder, could be in the neck, right? A pinched nerve a lot of times can cause that. If he's on like caffeine or a stimulant like that, and that could be a partial cause. A likely cause would be, something that he didn't even do, like for himself. He basically threw tetanus shots and this type of thing. People get Lyme's disease, and they diagnose as Lyme, but they also diagnose as mainly as um, basically, what do you call it? Can't think right now. Michael J. Fox has it.
Parkinson's?
Parkinson's.
Yeah, Parkinson's and ALS. And like I said, Lyme's disease are very similar. They have a similar type of situation there. So the thing is, we could look this up and we can get to kind of the root issue, whether it's a pinch, whether it's, one of these other things. Because if you catch this at the onset, it's really, it's way better than getting it to the place where most of his hand or arm is kind of trembling. So it's hard to tell what it might be. It could be a pinched nerve. He could be sleeping on that side all night, cutting circulation off. There's quite a few things that could be. And the best thing I can say is that if you can make it out here, I recommend you coming out here and seeing exactly, you know, um, some of the things that will really help you and your husband figure out what this is. And neuropathy means, either something's impairing your nervous system to cause it to shake. So it could be a parasite, mold, bacteria, fungus that's within that nerve. Like, so even nerves get attacked by these types of things. Toxins are embedded in these types of things. So, it's just one of those things where we can take a look, kind of round it off, see what the best course of action is. But I really do think that you could help yourself out a lot just having the kind of the honest, truthful details presented in front of you. And as far as that's concerned, a lot of times it's 30, 60, 90 days. Lyme's disease is likely the cause as well, and that it's causing the shaking. So, but they could diagnose this as Parkinson's or ALS as well too. I hope that
Yes.
helps, and thank you for your
Yeah.
question, Grace.
No, thank you. I even talked to Dr. Gale. So I've been like DMing with, and we actually spoke a couple of times on the phone. She actually texted me yesterday to see how my husband was doing because she recommended a biochemical. I'm going to say this wrong. I'm not looking at my notes. It was a biochemical test. It's like where you take a hair follicle and you send it in, and she actually volunteered to help read it when we get the results. We've done a cleanse because I'm kind of concerned it could be from heavy metal toxins. He does have the mercury fillings. He's 65, going to be 66 on his next birthday. Very healthy. We eat very clean. We eat very organic. We grow our own garden. We have we have our own meat processor that we know that we get our meat from. We don't eat a ton of meat. He's been off red meat for over 25 years. We don't go eat fast food. We don't smoke. We do have an occasional cocktail, but it's like 2 times a week, on the weekend, and we might have a cocktail when we go out for a dinner. So we live a very healthy, active lifestyle. My husband, we own a pretty big business that we run, and we're both very active in golf and pickleball. So we're definitely not lazy. We're not overweight. He is very fit as far as weight goes. So I think it's something with toxins or heavy metals or some kind of, I don't want to say poison, but something going on internally. And I don't want to go. I was going to make an appointment to go see a neurologist potentially, but I backed out of that after talking to Dr. Gale because I feel like they're going to label him. And my husband gets really stuck on labels. I don't, but he tends to. And I didn't want him to have something in his head that they label him with. And then he literally, like, his life declines because he just thinks he has this terrible thing and it'll never go away. And, that's what they want to do. They want to instill
Mindset.
fear. Yes, yes. And he definitely falls into that category. I don't, but he tends to do that more than I do. So I've kept him away from these regular, what I'm going to call regular, practicing doctors. Okay, I'll just call and make an appointment. I think that's our best next step. So thank you so much for your input. I really appreciate you, John and Jenny.
Grace,
Yeah,
reach
thank
out
you
to
so
me
much.
at the revival of America at yahoo.com, and I will facilitate them getting in contact with you right away.
Okay,
It's
I
easier.
will, Jenny.
It's easier for you guys to email me because once I send them the email, you see how quickly they get in touch with you. If you go through the 800 number, and you just never know, right? So yeah, just email me at the revival of America at yahoo.com, and we'll get you in contact.
Thank you. I will do that this afternoon. And God bless you both so much.
Thank you, Grace. God bless you and your
Thank you,
husband.
Grace.
All right, John, can we round it out with Lori? She wants to come
Sure.
up and talk about her, finish off the experience, I guess. Go ahead, Lori.
Awesome.
Hi. First, I want to respond to what Grace just said because I'm a retired health teacher. And one of the things that Grace just beautifully and eloquently reminded everybody of was labels. Um, as a teacher, I did not like that about all of my students. This one's labeled ADD, ADHD, delayed speech, blah, blah, blah. I would just see Johnny, Susie, Sally, I saw the kids. I didn't see the labels. And I tried so hard to get the labels off these children, just see the kid, And so bless your heart, Grace, for not wanting your husband to own that label. And that's what we have to do, not own any label. And so thank you. I wanted to say that first. I wanted to also tout that Dale had told Kimmy and I when we come to bring anything that we have, because we have some of the grounding mats and the bed covers, and so we brought everything. We walked in there with our bags of goodies that we have been using at home, and they tested everything. And I wanted everyone to know that that was a real benefit and how much we appreciated every single thing got tested. And Dale was able to say, yep, you're getting exactly the frequency you should from this. This is working. And so it validated that what we are using at home is viable. So those are a couple of things that I wanted to make sure that, John and Dale just are very helpful and just so kind-hearted. You're in good hands there. And healing the way our body's designed to heal, everything about this is, it just speaks to me. And I can't, I don't know. I want to scream it from the mountaintops. I want to scream it. I want to truth puke.
I feel
And
you on
so,
that. I feel you on
yeah,
that one, Lori. When my parents came back from us seeing John and just seeing the work they put into it and just the results, it's yeah, you want to shout it from the rooftops for sure. You want everybody to know about it.
yeah. So, thank you, Jenny, for hooking us up with John. And you are spot on, Jenny. The minute you send the email to John or Dale, boy, they're calling you and they're on it. And so quick turnaround. And Dale gave me 2 hours of time to chat on the phone. Just wonderful, wonderful. So I can't speak highly enough, and I hope I want to go again. And I'm trying to come get some of my friends from Michigan to go back down there. I said I'll go with you.
I love
So
it.
yeah, so
Yeah.
thank you so much, and I'll yield.
Thank you so much, Laura. That means a lot, and it was just really nice having you here. Thank you for believing. Thank you for wanting to join this mission. I can honestly say there's likely not many rewarding things like this that you could be doing in the world. And thank you so much for getting the message out. It really helps because really that is our goal. If we can heal ourselves, we could heal the world, but also realize if you have a partner too that, just like Jenny's parents, they're a duo. They're looking over each other. One person's healing is both of their healing. So realize whatever state you might be in. We talked to quite a few people in the call today that had a husband. Everyone's looking over each other, nurturing, trying to get people better. On the flip side of it, as we learn how this works, we're going to be better set up for a better, healthier lifestyle. As our goal would be to age gracefully, age pain free for sure. No one wants to just sit there and feel pain 24 hours a day. But the cool thing is that, we've been blessed with this technology and, and essentially we can go after these major health issues that, have been plaguing us for a long time. I just like to say that, what we have here is solutions. That's what you heard today. We're not just pinpointing problems and saying good luck. Not only are we finding them, we're addressing them. We definitely believe what we're doing, and and this is available to all you guys. So the thing is part of the Patriot movement, this network, and everyone else. Our goal is to change this trajectory that we've been placed on, suggesting that in 5 more years, in 2030, over 70% of Americans will have at least one chronic health disease. That's a staggering number. That's a scary number. And the people that give us this number were the people that have been just doing nefarious bad things, to human health. I really believe the stuff that's been going on, including the snake bite, these are crimes against humanity. I know in Africa, they were testing other humans and not caring if they die. That's a scary lab rat situation. We really need to make change right now. We really need to stick together. And as far as education and information goes, we're here for everyone. We're here to show people likely things that they never seen. We heard a lot of that today. And the thing is, it's your information. And when it's your information and you can decipher it, you can not only put a timestamp on it, you can measure against the first time you're here. So our upward hill trajectory is to get your health back, your life back, to be happier, to sleep more deeper, bring enjoyment back into our lives. I can tell you from suffering from over 15 years of chronic pain, if I had another option, I would definitely take any other option. So, that's why I do this, is like I had a situation I'll never forget. And when the doctors said that I broke my neck, they said that, we'll wait for your call, kid, because you will be calling us. The the thing is I never made that call. I've had a distrust in the medical industry for over 25 years, but really it was that was when I drew the line 25 years ago. But I already knew that I was being poisoned since the time I was a kid. So this is important. It's much bigger than any one person. And I can't thank you guys all enough for sharing, liking, getting the message out. It means a whole lot. And I feel like we're very much family now. So, this location is for all you guys. It's definitely for this type of movement. And I feel super blessed and lucky and fortunate to be and grateful to be the guy that I can educate you on this and improve your life. I can tell you there's nothing more rewarding that any of us or on our team could be doing than to be helping our fellow Americans.
Well, thank you, John, for everything you do. You are giving hope and encouragement to the hopeless. You are changing lives out there. John, everybody is a needle in a haystack. I always say it. So we're very, very blessed to have him here every Monday. So please, everybody, if you want to reach out to John and his staff and go see him or have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at the Revival of America at yahoo.com. We will get you in touch with John and his staff and get you on the road to recovery, healing, all that stuff. So remember, they've taken this holistic frequency, whatever kind of healing it is out there, the good stuff for us, away from us, because they don't want us to know. If we know the true meaning of healing and there is a cure for cancer and all that stuff, then big pharma wouldn't be what big pharma is today, and the medical world wouldn't be what the medical world is today. And that means another money grab, taking all of our money. So if you want a different direction, everybody, you want some encouragement and some hope, please reach out to me again at the Revival of America at yahoo.com, and we will get you in touch with John and his staff. And John, thank you so much for being here, and we'll get you scheduled on the show again next week. And have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you guys all. God bless you guys. Definitely have a great weekend, rest of the day.
Thank you, John. God bless everybody. Have a good day.